Hello everyone, my name is Xiong and today I will be teaching you all on how you can make your own video presentations on a computer. A lot of us have to deal with presentations or visual projects throughout our educational career, and I believe that creating videos is a way in which helps us present our projects more clearly. The program that I'll be utilizing today is called Filmora. Although you may have to pay to unlock Filmora's full features, I believe that Filmora's free trial is user-friendly, simple, and fun to use to make your own videos. Filmora's free trial can help you determine whether or not you like to invest into the program or resort to other free alternatives. Step number 1, requirements. Some of the things that you need would be a computer, a microphone or headset with a microphone, Filmora, the program, provided here I have a free trial link for you, and a free recording program. The program that I'm using for recording right now would be Radeon Relive, but you can find other free alternatives online. For step number 2, depending on the class you are taking and the project you are assigned, it is always a good idea to brainstorm the type of ideas you can make your video presentation about. Some example topics on the screen here could range from Mother Earth, music, aliens, explorers, and even about how you can make your own video teaching others to make their own videos. Coincidence? Possibly. First and foremost, what I would like to do first is to start off with a blank slate. So you can just go to Google and just Google a stock free image of just a gradient background or something to present your title or opener. So I already have one downloaded, so what I'm going to do is just drag it over here. And it's just going to be my blank template. I'm going to drag it onto the timeline. That's going to give me this as my template. Now, what I want to do next is go to titles, and with the openers or the titles that I have available to me, I can choose from over 200 plus, 259 to be exact. Depending on the free trial, you may be limited to what you have, but just use what you have. And the one that I'm going to choose is probably going to be, let's see, you can double click on the titles to see how they look like before you drag onto your timeline. I'm probably going to stick with title 2 just because it looks pretty cool. So what I want to do is drag title 2 onto the timeline right here. Oops. Control Z to undo it. There you go. Now to edit the title, what you want to do is double click on the title 2. It's going to bring you to this screen. Now what we have selected is the subtitle of the title. So what we're going to do is click on this, and it's going to give us the option to edit our title. Now my video is going to be different from yours, of course, but let's say my topic is going to be explorers. Explorers. And now you can format it however you like. You can bold it, you can indent it. I'm going to unbold it and just indent it. You can also do preset text styles as well if you'd like. So for example, I'm just going to select this. And I'm going to do text style 7. And it's going to come up like this. Just like that. And then for the subtext, double click on it. It's going to take me here again. And I'm going to put my name. By equals Xiong. And then I think I'm going to keep the text style as 1. And probably unbold it. There you go. And then we can watch how it plays out. Or to make it a little bit more interesting, we can add the audio. Now you can choose from all 51 depending on what you have, but I think I'm going to stick with the sound effects instead. And I am going to choose digital alert just because this is my first clip of the video that I'm going to make. So digital alert, you can either double click on it to add to project, or you can just drag it onto the timeline. I like to drag it. So I'll place it right there on the audio timeline. And then I'm going to also add a transition. You can choose from all of these depending on the Filmora you have. What I'm going to choose is probably going to be, let's see, Flash to make it pop. So I'm going to assign that to my template, shrink down the Flash a little bit so that the effect won't take too long. And now what we're going to do is watch it. And just like that, you have your first scene done. Alright, for our next step, we are going to be working on the second title. So we're going to do what we did earlier. Go back to our media tab, go to our bling template that we imported from earlier, and put it back into the timeline. Go to titles, and resort to default titles so that we can input some information. Double click on the default title on the timeline, and we're going to shrink the font size so that we can fit some information in there. And we're going to put in some information about exploring. So let's say exploration has been seen throughout history. Famous explorers have discovered numerous locations. And thanks to exploration, many locations have been geographically mapped out. And again, if it's too big, what we're going to do is just drag it, shrink, center it, follow the guidelines, and then we can enlarge it so that can be readable. Just to make it pop a little bit, we'll do some animations. We can preview the animations on the left side right here. And okay. But before we get done with that, we are going to add a transition for the second part. Now you can also preview it by double clicking the animations. And we're going to add it to the middle right here. See how that plays out. And let's watch. Alright, for this next part, I'm going to teach you how to import images into your video. So what you're going to do is just use a stock free or Google Images of what your presentation is about. And what I have done is Google image some explorers. So what I'm going to do is right click, import, and click on the images that I have downloaded and bring them onto my project. And now what you can do is just select them one by one, or you can just drag and place them onto the timeline like this. And what you want to do next to make it a little more fancy is probably include some transitions. So let's go with the color splits. And let's see how it plays out. Image 3. Alright, now I'm going to teach you guys how to implement your own voice using the software that you have chosen to start recording your own voice. Now what I'm going to do is have this already pre-recorded, and I'm going to just read one of the Explore images to you guys and teach you how to detach the audio and put it onto your timeline. So what we want to do is just hit play on the video. Now the image will pop up and I will begin reading this. Hillary and Norgay, two explorers who became the first climbers to reach the summit of Mount Everest, the tallest mountain on Earth. Jacques Cousteau, a French explorer who invented diving and scuba devices and became famous for his exploration of life under the sea. Ferdinand Magellan, a Portuguese explorer who was the first to circumnavigate, sail around the world. Sir Francis Drake, an English explorer who was the second to sail around the world and the first to do it as captain while leading the entire voyage. Alright, now that I have that recorded audio saved onto my computer somewhere, I'm going to pull it up and import it into my media. Now, this may seem confusing, but you'll get the gist of it as long as you know where you saved your recorded voice or video on. So what I'm going to do is get the video right here and place it onto the timeline, just like that. And then I'm going to listen for when I start the sound and when I can edit and detach my voice onto this part of the video. And now you can see where I start. You can see the lines right here. This lines are going up and down is my voice. So what I'm going to do is left click on the timeline, cut it, select this and delete this part, and then drag the voice all the way to over here. And now, since this only explores 1, I'm going to shrink it. Well, not shrink it, but extend explorers 1 all the way to the timeline. Right here. And then I'm going to right click on the video, detach the audio, and then select the clip, delete it because it has no more sound in it, and then it's just going to come up with my voice. Alright, now I'm going to teach you guys how to implement your own voice using the software that you have chosen to start recording your own voice. Now what I'm going to do is have this already pre-recorded, and I'm going to just read one of the Explore images to you guys and teach you how to detach the audio and put it onto your timeline. So what we want to do is just hit play on the video. Now the image will pop up and I will begin reading this. Now right here is where I have declared that I will start reading the image. So what I'm going to do is left click on the audio, cut it, select this part that I don't need, which is all the extra information that I was talking about earlier, delete it, and then place the audio to where the clip will begin. Should be right here. And then I can shrink back Explorer 1 to where it was meant to end and start before it starts into Explorer 2. And now we're going to watch the video. Hillary and Norgay, two explorers who became the first climbers to reach the summit of Mount Everest, the tallest mountain on Earth. Jacques Cousteau, a French explorer who invented diving and scuba devices and became famous for his exploration of life under the sea. Ferdinand Magellan, a Portuguese explorer who was the first to circumnavigate, sail around the world. Sir Francis Drake, an English explorer who was the second to sail around the world and the first to do it as captain while leading the entire voyage. Okay, now that we know how to use our software to record our voices or record a video with our voices and detach the audio from the pre-recorded reading, we know how to assign it onto the timeline, which is just simple media import and dragging it onto the timeline. I'm gonna fast forward this video to where we can see how my voice has been implemented into here, here, and here. Alright, now we are going to add our last slide, and that is the ending to our presentation. So we're going to go back and select our template that we imported from earlier from our media. Go to titles, drag the title onto the title timeline, double click to edit it, and then we're just going to put thank you for watching. Shrink the font a little bit because it's a little bit too big. And we'll just add an animation, preset an animation. Let's play with it if you'd like. Now we don't want it to be a little bit too long, so we're just gonna get to this point right here. And then we are also gonna add a transition. We're gonna do a fade transition at the end. And then we are going to do push transition after the last reading. It's gonna look like this. Before viewing the video that we have been working on so far, and we have made sure that everything has worked perfectly by viewing it right here, we are going to export it. So what you want to do is just hit the export button and save it as explorers. You put the settings to have the best quality as long as your computer can handle it. We're going to export it onto the desktop. Radeon Relive and export. And I will see you guys when it's all done exporting. Exploration has been seen throughout history. Famous explorers have discovered numerous locations. Thanks to exploration, many locations have been geographically mapped out. Hillary and Norgay, two explorers who became the first climbers to reach the summit of Mount Everest, the tallest mountain on Earth. Jacques Cousteau, a French explorer who invented diving and scuba devices and became famous for his exploration of life under the sea. Ferdinand Magellan, a Portuguese explorer who was the first to circumnavigate, sail around the world. Sir Francis Drake, an English explorer who was the second to sail around the world and the first to do it as captain while leading the entire voyage. Christopher Columbus, an Italian explorer who sailed for Spain in hopes to find a western passage to India, but instead discovered Central America. Daniel Boone, an American frontiersman who crossed the Appalachian Mountains to explore and help settle land that became Kentucky. Vasco de Balboa, a Spanish explorer who crossed the Isthmus of Panama to the Pacific Ocean. Neil Armstrong, the first person to walk on the moon, and famously say, "That's one small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind. Leif Erikson, an Icelandic explorer considered to be the first European to land in North America. Lewis and Clark, American explorers sent on an expedition by Thomas Jefferson to find a water route across North America and to explore the West. Marco Polo, an Italian explorer who wrote about his 24-year journey along the Silk Road to reach China and Mongolia. Amerigo Vespucci, an Italian explorer who sailed for Portugal and discovered South America and dubbed it the New World. To conclude this video about video creation on a computer, I hope that you can all take something away from it. Whatever video software application you choose to use or even Filmora itself, I hope that you can apply these skills in your educational career and even take it with you in a professional setting. Thank you for watching.